What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Greenleaf. What season are we on? Season 4, episode 7. So we found out tonight there are only 3 more episodes left, honey. And Ambitions will be back on November the 12th. So I'll be reviewing. Y'all know I review Ambitions, honey. I'm waiting for it to come back, baby. But this episode, so the name of the episode is called Reunited, okay? We start this episode, y'all know I usually get into titles, but this one's a little, it's apropos. We start off with Grace looking for AJ. She's calling, baby girl, Sophia, to see if he's there. And of course she covers for him, and she's like, no, I don't know where he is, but if I find him, I'll let you know. He's sitting right there, honey. And I'm gonna go on and just knock this on out. He is sitting there. Sophia's trying to bond with the boy. I still ain't figured out his deal. I don't know what his deal is, because part of me is like, he's just a punk who is, trying to get a free ride, who's sort of damaged goods because he done been through so much, who's got a chip on his shoulder against, Grace. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Not Grace. Yeah. Why I can't? Yeah. Yeah, Grace. And so, but part of me is that, but then there's another part of me that feels like he's got a big secret. Like, a part of me almost feels like he stole those meds because he's sick and he needed those meds. And I'm not gonna put no name on a disease, but I sort of feel like something's wrong with him, and he stole them out of a need, not necessarily to like deal drugs. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he needed the medicine. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm trying to get his boy the benefit of the doubt. But neither here nor there. He sort of, it's almost like one minute he's trying to be cool with Sophia, but then the next minute he sort of picks at Sophia. Honey, I don't know. So they sort of get into like a little bit of a fight. He leaves. She's gonna he said he's getting ready to leave. He can't stay there. He just came to say goodbye to her. And like one minute he's like, I want to thank you for actually, treating me like a family member. But then on the flip, and then he flips out on her. So I don't know what his deal is. But she goes to try to slide him some money, and she opens up his bag while he's gone, and she finds the meds. So of course now she's like, damn, I trusted you. I thought, I've been lying for you. My mother lied for you. She confronts him, and they end up getting into an argument, and she tells him, she was like, look, you keep pushing us away, and we're trying to be there for you, but how can we help you when you lying to us and you putting us in a bad situation? And she was like, my mother lied for you. He talking about she had a choice. No, she didn't. You put such a guilt trip on her. You was sitting there crying and begging and pleading. No, she didn't. You really put her in a situation where she felt like she had no choice. Now, again, at the end of the day, did she really have a choice? Yeah, technically she did. But at the end of the day, you know what you were doing. He ends up leaving. Sophia ends up coming back home. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Memphis and Hampton, Virginia are not right around the corner. This child then came home twice, and she ain't even barely in her first semester of school. But how you getting back and forth, child? Because the drive is not an easy drive, and the flights ain't cheap. So you just like running your credit card? Do you have a black card? How the hell you just rolling back and forth from Memphis to Hampton? Like, it's right around the corner. Like, really, dude? Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. At the end of the episode, Sophia shows up to let Grace know, look, he did it. I've been harboring him. I tried to help him, but at the end of the day, he stole them drugs. So, and Grace act like she was shocked. Girl, you knew he stole them damn drugs. Stop playing. Now, back over. I just got them on out the way. Now back over to Hope and Harmony and Calvary. That daggone Charity is in the mirror preaching, honey, like she is in the pulpit on a Sunday morning, and she is going off. You cannot tell her she is not doing the thing. Poor, what's her name? The maid. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That might as well be her baby. And I bet you if she took that baby home, Charity wouldn't even know he gone. Every time we see that baby, Marisol, that's it. Marisol ended up taking the baby at some point in time. Now, Marisol is giving that baby a bath, and she in the mirror putting on her makeup, preaching to nobody. Anyway, Bishop done called a secret meeting with the children, and of course, Jacob is pissed off at Charity because Jacob saw Charity kissing all up on Phil. Grace is preoccupied worrying about AJ, and Charity is irritated that she's at this meeting because all she want to do is get to the church so she can kiss up on Phil again. So they get to they snipping at each other like they teenagers or something, and Bishop is like, look, I called y'all here because I need your help. I'm gonna propose to your mama tonight. Okay? And what I need y'all to do, I need y'all to sing like y'all sang at our anniversary. I need you to sing tonight. I want to make it special. Now, while he's having this conversation with the kids, Lady Mae is out listening, so she know he going to propose. And she's smiling, which is a good thing because that means that that's what she wants to. Good. What's his name? Jacob lets Charity know that he saw them the other night. And Charity's like, well, look, please don't tell nobody. He said, well, what is it? Do you love him? Are you using him playing Mata Hari, trying to get, you playing double agent? Are you trying to bring him over to our side? Like, what's the deal? Like, what's really good? So at first she tried to lie and say that, she was just playing double agent. And he was like, well, we don't need you to do that. So then she said, well, look, I love him. I'm in love with him. Charity, when you fall in love with this man? Okay. You had one kid. Anyway, I ain't even going. I'm not going down that road with Charity. And Jacob is telling her, look, he is using you. So, of course, she, which I would too, get offended and be like, what you mean he using me? What's that supposed to mean? And, of course, she goes on to talk about how wonderful of a man he is. And you just need to get to know him. And if you knew what I knew, you would understand and you would love him too. Jacob is like, whatever. She said, well, please don't tell nobody. Don't tell Grace. Don't tell nobody what's going on. Like, let's just keep this between us. So he agrees to do that. But you can tell he's not happy about it. He ain't feeling it. So anyway, that's that. So Charity makes a beeline down to the church to let Phil know, look, my brother saw us the other night, because what the plan is that they're going to take this audio recording and send it to Bob and basically blow up Grace's whole spot. But Charity shows up and is like, look, you can't do that because they're going to know it came from me. Because now they got a connection. See, before, I don't know what Charity thought they wouldn't make the connection back to her. And that's what Phil said. Phil said, well, I mean, it was always going to come down to this. He said, but I tell you what, if you're not ready to do this, I'm going to give you 24 hours. And if you come back to me in 24 hours and you tell me you don't want to do this, then we won't do it. He said, because, my love for you is greater. Like, he starts laying. I still ain't figured out whether he really does have feelings for Charity or if he playing her. I ain't figured it out. A part of me feels like there are some feelings there, but his ultimate goal is to get that church. Like, I feel like he will push her out the way to get to the church, but if things work out, he might take her with him. I don't know. I ain't figured Phil out yet. But he lays it on real thick, and then he even starts talking about till death do us part. Blah, blah, blah. I say, oh, Lord, you done got Charity hook, line, and sinker. Look, y'all, before I forget to tell this part, watch when Charity and Jacob were arguing. Charity was like, look, I finally got a man that loves me, that loves God, and is straight. I said, Lord, poor Kevin. And I know what El Teddy gonna say. Shouts out to El Teddy. Where is Kevin? Child, we don't know. We don't care. Anyway, so down to the cottage. Zora is there with her new friend, the girlfriend of the basketball player, Dante. And she is pissed off because Dante done got suspended from the team. She said he just became an all-star. Now he going to be on the bench. She said, and the team wants him to make an apology and read a statement, and he's refusing to do it. She was like, he a little fake old Kaepernick. He gonna put his whole career in jeopardy over this old mess. He need to just go ahead and make the statement. Well, I'm gonna give him an ultimatum. Now, she's doing this whole thing. Zora is paying her no mind. Zora is reading her Bible, honey. She said, I'm gonna give him an ultimatum, and either he makes that statement or I'm gone. She was like, are you listening to me? And Zora was like, well, I mean, I heard what you said, but right now my aunt is going through something and I'm trying to find the perfect Bible verse for her to kind of ease her pain a little bit. So she starts going off on Zora, talking about, why are you reading a book that was written 1,000 years ago by some stupid people in the desert, and it's full of lies, and they were probably high anyway. So I'm like, okay, you are attacking Now, Zora's a lot of things, but Zora do love the Lord in her own way. She love the Lord. So the girl basically says, look, you are not a great friend. I'm trying to talk to you. You're not listening, and I'm out. So she rolls out. Later on in the episode, we see Zora talking to Bishop about it because she's sort of torn. Like, look, I like her. She's my friend, but she's clearly not where I am spiritually. So what should I do? I mean, should I stay friends with her? Should I, should I let her go? And the Bishop says, look, I hear where you coming from, but all you can do is love her. All you can do is love the girl. So later on in the episode, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way too. So later on in the episode, the girl shows back up and tells Zora, well, I gave Dante that ultimatum, and Dante told me to kick rocks, so can I stay here? Zora's like, girl, sure. See, this is a recipe for disaster, but I'm sure we'll get to that in the next couple of episodes. And the question that was running through my head was, you just met Zora. You just met Zora a couple of weeks ago. Where would you have gone had you not met Zora? Because, see, that would have been my question. My question would have been, so if you had never met me, whose doorstep would you have shown up on? That's where I need you to go. You can call me, girl. We go out for lunch tomorrow. Tell me all about it. But I'm going to need you to go wherever you would have gone had we never met. Because we ain't there yet. We not there yet where you just moving in with me. We not there yet. But she let the girl move in. And like I said, I see that being a disaster, but we'll get there. Now, over down to Calvary, Phil is complaining to Grace because there's some parking issues, and the land that would have been available is some land that is in between their two parking lots. I guess they have two parking lots, and there's a strip of land that the church doesn't own that Grace is trying to buy so that they can, make it one big parking lot. So she goes to the guy, and the guy was like, look, I hate to be the one to tell you, but somebody done bought that land up. They paid a pretty good penny for it. And Grace, tries to talk to him about it, but he ends up telling Grace, the name of the place is, Church on the Hill or something on the hill. He said, a good Christian company. She said, yeah, they sound like they're a Christian company. She said, can I get their number? So he gives Grace the card or whatever. And we'll get to that in a minute. So Jacob does big brother move, and he goes to confront Phil, and he basically lets Phil know, look, my sister done been through a lot. Here you go. I mean, some of it is her own fault. Okay, but it doesn't matter. She deserves better. I said, you ain't have to do that. You could have just said my sister been through a lot. You ain't have to put the caveat that some of it was her fault. You had to do that. But Phil says, look, I'm not going to hurt your sister. Because at first Phil was like, and what you going to do? He was like, look. He said, well, I don't plan to hurt your sister. He said, you better plan, however he said it. Anyway. But he does big brother on him and tells him, you hurt my sister. You're going to have to deal with me kind of situation. He said, look, I don't work here no more, so I'm not bound by any HR rules. I'm just a civilian, and I'm just a big brother checking on his little sister, and I'm just basically checking your ass. Phil is unbothered, but he lets him know, look, I'm not here to mess with your sister. I ain't here to hurt your sister. Now, down to the Hope on the Hill or the Church on the Hill, whoever these people are, that daggone Clarissa ass is down there flirting again. Now, the man is asking her questions. He said, that house, she was talking about where she lived, the estate, honey. And he said, yeah, there is no house, no property, no house like it. This little piece of hair keep falling out. Okay. He said, there's no property like that in the whole state of Tennessee. He said, she said, yeah, I really was trying to hang in there because I figured at one point that I would have inherited it, but things are just so unbearable. And I was like, well, damn, look how you talking. So he gonna ask her, well, I mean, if something were to happen to the bishop and to Lady May, who would it go to? And Clarissa gave him a look, and she was like, I don't know. He said, well, maybe you should find out before you totally, roll out. Maybe you should find out who's next in line and how long you would have to wait. Now, my thing is this. You have at least 2 other siblings outside of Jacob. I don't know what make you think Jacob is anywhere in that succession, but maybe it will go to the son. I don't know. But certainly, after how this whole thing done went down, you ain't on that list. Honey, Marisol done came through the suite, and Lady May done sent her down there to take pictures. She said it was because they updating their insurance. Nah, she taking pictures of that furniture that she told you can't take up out that house. She cataloging, okay? And Clarissa know it. So Clarissa ends up flirting with the dude. He talking about something. I got a room down at the hotel. She said, well, how about you take me right here like you did the other night? First she tried to play coy, honey. But then, you know. So he says, well, let me go tell my assistant, basically, don't let no, do not put me on do not disturb. Now they don't show them doing the do, but next thing you know, Grace is showing up, and here come Clarissa coming up out the man's office, and Grace is hitting her with a, what you doing here? And see, just like when somebody is guilty, what did Clarissa do? Get on the defense. What you mean? What are you talking about? You don't control me. You don't tell me what to do. She said, she said, this who you sold your land to? I'm allowed to, it was my land. I can do what I want with it. Grace was like, yeah, but, this is Hope and Harmony. Well, no, she didn't tell, no. Grace didn't tell her that because Grace didn't know yet. So Grace went to go talk to old Fernando. And she's trying to find out from Fernando, like, what is your use for this land? Like, why are you buying up all of this land? And he was like, well, I really can't get into all of that. He said, but, when I'm free to tell you, then I will. But right now, I'm not really free to let you know these things. So, she goes to her brother, the lawyer. And he figures out, he said it's a shell company. They hiding it really well. However, I see the do and the don't. And they found out that it's Hope and Harmony. So now Grace is like, so Hope and Harmony is buying up all the land surrounding the church. Alarm bells are going off. Okay. Down to Calvary. Lady Mae was so happy that she found out that Bishop was going to propose to her, honey. Lady Mae done got her attire together, honey, and she was in her closet getting herself together for her proposal. She gets a phone call from Corinne down to the church. Corinne said, look, you told me to let you know when there was some stuff going down. Well, I need to let you know that there's a motion in the deacons meeting to remove your name off the fund, off the scholarship fund. And y'all know Lady Mae ain't hearing that, honey. Lady Mae goes down to the church, honey. Come to find out, the woman who's proposing it was the same woman that her and Bishop went to go comfort a few weeks ago, and she told her, nobody believes you that you didn't know what your brother was doing. So Lady Mae goes to confront the woman, and the woman was like, look, if you here to talk to me about the motion, first and foremost, I'm not going to withdraw my motion. Second of all, it wasn't my idea. Come to find out that the person who wanted the motion is Vera, Velma, Vern, the V lady, the woman who Mac was molested in that fund, the money was her hush money coming out that fund. She says, so if you have an issue, that's who you need to go talk to, not me. And I'm thinking, I don't know what made me think Lady Mae was going to leave it alone. I was thinking that Lady Mae would just let that go. What I think that for? Lady Mae went and found that woman. And so it was her mom. Remember, her mom worked at the church. And then the young lady, she looked like she might be in her early 20s, something like that. But she was very timid and everything. And as soon as they saw Lady Mae, the mama was like, Lady Mae, we not changing our mind. Like, I know what you here to do. I know what you want. We are not here to change our mind. And Lady Mae said, I wouldn't dream of it. She said, I'm appalled. I came here to apologize to you. I am appalled at what my brother did, but please know that I did not know. And she said, how could you not know? Like, how could you not know? And she said, can I talk to you for a minute? And the mother wasn't having it. The mother was like, no, we got to get to this meeting. No. And she said, no, it's okay, Mom. I'll hear her out. And basically, Lady Mae ended up breaking down. And the mother saw it. The mother said, there must be some other reason why you didn't see what Mac was doing. You didn't know. And Lady Mae ends up breaking down and telling them about her father molesting her. And she said, and that's why I couldn't see it. I didn't want to see it. And it wasn't until Faith that I knew what Mac was doing. But I didn't know I didn't know he was using the fund as hush money. Like, you got to believe me that I did not know that. And she had a moment. She broke down and everything. So the mother was like, look, we got to get to this meeting. And the young lady said, Lady Mae, you need to go and tell them your story. Lady Mae said, no, they don't want to hear from me. And the mother told Lady Mae, she said, look, You asked my daughter to listen. Now you need to listen to her. And Lady Mae ended up going into that meeting, and I'm certain by the way she came home later on that night, I'm certain that the meeting that she told them what happened. Now we don't know. They didn't tell us the conclusion. I don't know if Lady Mae's name is still on that scholarship or not. But to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want my name on the scholarship. Once you found out, I understand you had the best of intentions when you started it. However, that is not how this whole thing went down. And I wouldn't want my name on that scholarship anymore. Like, that's real talk. Wouldn't even want that to go down that way. But anyway. So, back to the house, honey. Grace, Jacob and Charity are arguing again. Now, mind you, the song that Jacob lied when him and Charity were arguing earlier. Jacob done lied and said that they were going to sing Reunited. I said, well, that's the perfect song, but Lord, I don't know who reuniting over him. So, Jacob, Charity, and Grace, they get to bickering again. Jacob tells Grace that Charity is messing with Phil. Grace tells Jacob, well, why did you sell your land to Hope and Harmony? Jacob was like, I ain't sell my land to no Hope and Harmony. What you talking about? She said, House on the Hill, whatever that company's called. Church on the Hill, Hope on the Hill, whatever they called. She said, that's really Hope and Harmony. So now Hope and Harmony has bought up all of the land around the church. And Jacob was like, well, I didn't know anything about that. She said, well, Clarissa was down there. Because Clarissa done lied and told Grace she had to sign some final paperwork. Yeah, you signed the paperwork, all right. You was on that desk, but you wasn't signing no paperwork. Anyway. And, Charity ends up getting in her feelings because, of course, now she mad that Jacob done betrayed her and told Grace what was going on. And she ends up leaving the room. But she's listening to them talk. And they're talking about, Hope and Harmony and buying up the land and what the plan is. So Charity goes to confront Phil. She said, why didn't you tell me about why y'all buying up all the land around the church? And Phil's like, what you talking about? We're not buying up no land. She said, yes, y'all are. She said that y'all have bought up all the land surrounding Calvary. Why would y'all do that? And he said, well, I didn't know anything about it. Charity said, well, I thought you were Phil Dumas. I thought you were Bob. I thought you was running things around here. He was like, yeah, I thought I was too. I said, they done duped you. They done gooped the kids, as they would say. So Jacob ends up going upstairs. Now he's starting to put some things together with Miss Clarissa, right? He goes upstairs. Clarissa's in the bed. Baby boy's in the bed with him. He done had a bad dream. And Jacob was like, well, I'm going to go on and just sleep in his room because, he kicks. I ain't going to be able to get no sleep. I don't know why you need no sleep. You ain't got no job to go to in the morning, but okay. But you see that he see that something ain't right. You know what I mean? And on his way out the door, Clarissa hit him with the I love you. And he hit her with the I love you back. But, honey, he ain't put all the pieces together. But he knows something stinking in the water, right? While they bickering, I missed the part. I'm sorry, fast forwarded. While they're bickering, Lady Mae comes in. And Bishop is pissed off because, of course, he wanted this nice moment where they would be singing to her and he would propose and all of that. But Lady Mae done walked in on them bickering. And he thinks that she said, I can't do this, not tonight. She said, I don't even want to know what's going on. I can't do it tonight. And she ends up leaving. And so the bishop thinks that she's in a mood because of them arguing. And, of course, he's pissed off at them. So he ends up going upstairs to talk to Mae. And, Mae, he said, where you been? She said, I was down at the church. And I was in a meeting. And, she said, look, I know you wanted to ask me something tonight. He said, yeah, but this don't seem like it's the right time to do it. She said, well, you might not feel like asking the question, but let me give you the answer. And what did he say? It was very eloquent what he said. He said something about that he would give up 1,000 years at the foot of the throne, just to be with you again. And of course she says yes, and they have a moment. Lady Mae laid out in her closet, honey, on the floor. I said, I wonder if they about to get it in right there on that closet floor. I hope don't nobody walk in. But But they have that moment, so you know that they're gonna get back together, and Lady Mae don't do nothing halfway. So I'm sure there's gonna be a big moment and a ceremony and all that good stuff. So I already kind of gave away the little climax when baby girl Sophia shows back up to let Grace know that not only is AJ on the run, honey, but he is guilty. Anyway, y'all, drop it in them comments. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.